2 hands, 4. That's all? Okay, so all of you should go back and start using this. Okay, now 3D printing. 3D printing may be a little more difficult to start using, but let's try. Let me try to inspire you to do that. Financial interest, I do some 3D printing. I have made a smartphone fundus camera called Jonda's Foldable Fundascope and many other designs. So many of the designs I put for free on these websites. So NIH 3D, Government of USA NIH 3D website allows you to share 3D design. So I have shared some of my 3D designs there, including the glaucoma drainage device, CTR, BHEX ring, all those things. So you can download it from there. And firstly, who has some idea about 3D printing? What is 3D printing? Anybody has used 3D printing? Dr. Sinumol has used 3D printing. No? Okay. So I thought some innovators will love 3D printing. So get started on 3D printing. It is a process of manufacturing objects from a 3D model in the computer. You just give the soft copy, the 3D model to the device. It will melt the plastic and make the thing for you. So you can draw the 3D model, you can ask it to make the device, you test it out, it doesn't work, you do it again. So you first do the designing using CAD. So now that there are lots of AI softwares available, AI can design it for you. If you want to learn to design CAD, you could learn 3D modeling, 3D designing from YouTube. That's what I did. You can do that. If you have, it's little difficult for you to do the 3D designing yourself, you can ask AI to draw a 3D model for you. And once the 3D model is done, you can just, if you buy a 3D printer, you can do it yourself, or you can just pick up your phone, search on Google Maps, 3D printer near me, send the soft copy to them, they will print it for you, make it for you. Okay, so anybody who wants to do 3D printing, you don't even have to buy a 3D printer. If you want to buy a 3D printer, it's only 15,000 rupees. The 3D printer is only 15,000 rupees. So you can buy that, less than a smartphone. You can buy that and you can start doing all this. You can do jewelry design also. You can do all sorts of gifts. You can do all the 3D models which are available online. Very many materials can be used. Most of these are plastic. PLA is polylactic acid. ABS is a much stronger plastic. You can also use nylon. There are some flexible materials. You can, some other 3D printers can use titanium, etc. So titanium 3D printers are much more expensive, not 15,000 rupees. 15,000 rupees, you can do plastic and resin. Okay. And yes, you have different types of 3D printing. This is boring, so I'll skip this part. So you need to just know that the most easily accessible ones are the FDM 3D printers and the resin 3D printers, SLA 3D printers, and lots of applications in industry automation. There are even 3D printed rocket engines. There are 3D printed houses. It's just a matter of the level of technology on the machine. Okay, and these are all the industries which use 3D print. A lot of industries. In ophthalmology, we'll come to it. Education, all these models can be made. Architects, everybody is using 3D printing. Construction, IIT Madras did 3D printed house. So you just design the house in your computer and then say, oh, I want one here in Chennai, I want one in Thrissur, I want one here. Just 3D print, 3D print, 3D print. Okay, madam is looking at the next design for the house. So lots of things outside ophthalm, dental, medical, etc. Now we'll go to, okay, I'll skip this. Yeah, I use some fonts which are not available on this computer, so it's asking to download those fonts. So can we skip all that? Skip the font download. So in ophthalmology, there are lots of applications for 3D printing. The most commonly seen ones are the 3D printed instruments, so surgical instruments, etc. I think we have to skip a lot of fonts. Okay, so I'll go back a few slides. Yeah, so in ophthalmology, we'll come to ophthalmology first. Yeah, cornea to lens to retina, accessories, so many things are there where 3D printing is being used in ophthalmology. I would say there are some instruments, some slit lamp adapters, all these things are there in KJO. You can make a 3D printed dry lab. You can use 3D printed eyeball models to practice eye examination, for practicing lasers, practicing surgical techniques. All these things can be practiced on 3D printed labs. So these are models made in Arvind Pondicherry. Even this holder for the eyeball here, that was 3D printed in Arvind Pondicherry. These designs were made by Dr. Rajesh Vedachalam in Arvind Pondicherry. And if you look closely here, this part of the sclera is a flexible material, so you can practice indentation. Okay, so that can also be done. Yeah, that is the flexible model that is 3D printed. Okay, it's the material is called TPU, 3D printed adapter for surgical video recording, even for slit lamp recording. 3D printed fundus camera, 3D printed fundus camera again. This is again available open source, and this is that one. This is the 3D printed fundus camera in the real world. This was done in Arvind This we printed in Arvind Pondicherry for Arvind Pondicherry's hospital day. So all these are available online. You can download and print. Okay, and this is another adapter for fundus photography. Then these are some wet lab surgical models. This is available commercially. So Oculo is selling these 3D printed eyeball models. This is from this is from Prashant Girish, again Arvind Pondicherry, 3D printed eyeball model for surgical practice. Dr. Rajesh did one for examination. This is Dr. Rajesh's model. These are some of the models which I have done. BHEX ring, RD glaucoma drainage valve. These are available in Thingiverse as well as the NIH website. You can download it and 3D print them. And these 3D models which you can see here, these are put in PowerPoint so they can move around in 3D. So that is again done with 3D designing software, FreeCAD. These are all the resin 3D printed stuff. And all these can be made very easily. You can just download the file from the site which I gave, ask a 3D printing shop near you to print it. They'll probably charge 200, 300 rupees for one model. Okay. And this is a 3D printed punctal plug. This was done with the help of MBBS students in Ramachandra Medical College. They were in ophthalmology posting. I told them about 3D printing. They said they want to do a project. I asked them to pick a project, and this is what they picked. Let's design a punctal plug. And they designed a punctal plug, and we 3D printed it in the dental lab there. So another point, dental labs have 3D printers. So if you don't find a 3D printing shop, go to a dental lab and ask them, can I borrow your 3D printer? This is a 3D printed glaucoma drainage device. I wanted to start doing glaucoma drainage device surgeries. 3D printed this, started practicing on animal eyes. So this is a video of how I started. I designed it and 3D printed it. Again in Ramchandra Medical College. This is for contact lens fitting. Again a model to teach optometrists how to get the correct fluorescent staining pattern. And this is from Prasanna Venkatesh, 3D printed vascular architecture. This is the actual 3D printed one. The previous one was a 3D model. And yes, these are all the 3D printed models which he has done, which are also available in augmented reality. All these 3D models can be used for both. Bunch of 3D printed fundus cameras, and this one over here, C3 MedTech, went on Shark Tank. They tried to they were not successful in the IPO, but they made a 3D printed fundus camera and put it for Shark Tank. Shark Tank India, not for Shark Tank AIOS, Shark Tank India. This is the foldable fundus camera. I found a problem statement that the smartphone fundus cameras were too big. So I made it foldable, made it fit into the pocket and called it the foldable fundoscope. Designed it in 3D after learning 3D modeling from YouTube. This is free CAD, free software for doing CAD. And with that, I developed this model. And yes, this is the 3D printed version. And yes, this is the 3D printed fundus camera. There are also 3D printing available for orbital dissection and oculoplasty, so orbit models, all these things. I think oculoplasty, OPI is having a 3D printing session in their Kochi meeting in coming April and June, I think. So all these are available. You could even 3D print an OCT. Why? Just because. Or you can 3D print it and show the patient, this is what your OCT looks like, this is what epiretinal membrane looks like. That is the problem. Okay, and you could design 3D printed surgical instruments to, you know, do the iteration of design. You do the design, 3D printed, test it out, see what works, what doesn't, change it. 3D printed trocar cannula system. Again, once you get the model right, then you can make it in metal. This is Canabrava's ring. He also designed it in 3D printing first before he finalized it. And this can be used for fractures, for orbital implants, so many orbital implants, teaching tools. We saw a few prosthetic eyes. So all these things are available right now, including 3D printing transparent materials as lenses. That is also available. Lux Excel is doing that. Why? Just because it's possible. And spectacles, opaque, very easy to do, different shape of face, doesn't matter, you can design it and 3D print. Somebody wants a designer spectacle with their name sculpted on it, you can do that. So maybe that is the future. 3D printed puzzles for blind children. So this has FISH in braille on it. So this is from LV Prasad Eye Institute. 3D printed lens, we saw that it's possible from Lux Excel, and it is quite transparent, not as transparent as pure glass. And bioprinting is where you 3D print biological structures, including transparent structures such as cornea. So skin and opaque substances, very easy to print, not very easy, but easier to print. Cornea transparent structure can also be 3D printed. Okay, so that is available in India right now. LB Prasad is using it. Some other hospitals are also doing trials. They are waiting for the right time to get into human. They had started human trials actually. They are waiting for the right time to get it into regular commercial availability. So yes, this is all about 3D printing cornea, and then 3D printing of retina is also coming. Not yet there yet, but it is possible. They are able to put the cells in the right place. Not able to make them function yet, but it will come. 3D print eye drop helper, eyeball, all these things you saw again. Thank you.